We are not normal. We are not ordinary. We steal the waves in the air, and we never give them back. We are.
We are.
We are.
We are. We are.
We are.
Lofi Poli Sci. Yes, we are. Lofi Poli Sci podcast coming at you with that famous question. What's going on in the world today? I'm Michael Pickering with that Lo-Fi global news, fresh off that press. And starting out in Uzbekistan because, well, I'll be damned if anyone else is talking about this. But we sure as hell are. There was a presidential election in Uzbekistan last week. And the president, well, he was running for re-election, you see. And I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. He won. But yesterday I posed a different question. I posed a question to all of you out there. Why doesn't the world do anything about military coups, right? And I think maybe, partially, it's for the same reason the world doesn't do anything about elections that are just complete and utter bullshit. I mean, this president of the election in Uzbekistan, he won with 80.31% of the vote. 80% of the vote. I mean, damn. I mean, at least try to hide that you're cheating a little bit better than that. Because no president, not even Vlad the Impaler Putin of Russia, wins presidential elections with 80% of the vote. It doesn't happen. But who cares, right? Who actually cares? And just in case you're wondering, Freedom House, which rates countries from 0 to 100 according to levels of freedom, Freedom House rates Uzbekistan an 11 out of 100. One of the least free countries in the world. But again, who cares, right? Well, we do. And sometime very, very soon, we're going to have to do another episode of Connecting the Dots and show you just how stories like this matter in the grander scheme of what's going on in the world today, for sure. Be on the lookout for that. But for now, let's move on over to South Africa, where municipal elections are taking place, meaning local elections. That's all municipal elections mean, local elections. And the ANC, the political party, the African National Congress, is really looking like they won't reach 50% of the vote tally. And of course, many of you may be out there saying, well, so what? This is just another random thing just like Uzbekistan. Oh, but I think not. Now, this is some real democracy going on right here, you see. You see, in South Africa, the ANC, that's the party of Nelson Mandela, the party of freedom, the party of independence, the party that dared to fight against apartheid and institutionalized racism and segregation in the country. And since South Africa's independence in 1994, the ANC has won every single presidential election and dominates politics in the country. So much so that many of us poli-sci people, well, we've been wondering, can a different political party actually win, you know? Well, eyes wide open on this one, people. We may be seeing history in the making right now in South Africa. And we'll let you know more as soon as we find out. And now let's go ahead and switch gears a bit for our Wednesday edition of the game. That's right. Is it landlocked or not? That's right. You know how this goes. I'll call out 5 countries, and you guess if they are completely surrounded by land, meaning landlocked, or not. And let's see just how much of that lo-fi loot you can get today. Number 1, Uzbekistan. Are we landlocked or not? And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Survey says Uzbekistan is in fact landlocked. Now, it does have some pretty big lakes around it, sure, but no direct access to a major sea or ocean, therefore still landlocked. And number 2, Kyrgyzstan. Is it landlocked or not? And I bet you forgot we were up to Central Asian countries in the game. Likely one of the least familiar regions to many, but us, we getting our Central Asia on today, indeed so. And 3, 2, 1, Kyrgyzstan is? It is in fact landlocked. Now on to number 3, Tajikistan. Are we landlocked or not? And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tajikistan is landlocked. Oh yeah. Number 4, Afghanistan. Is it landlocked or not? Now, I bet you're really wondering on this one, for all the times you've heard and read about Afghanistan in your life. Have you ever seen it on a map? And did you ever realize if it is landlocked or not? Question mark? And 3, 2, 1. Afghanistan is landlocked. And number 5, our last one for the day. Pakistan. Are we landlocked or not? And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pakistan is not landlocked. Oh, no, it isn't. People write in. Did you go 5 for 5 today? Did you know that the first 4 were landlocked and the last one wasn't? Little trickaroo for you on there. How much of that lo-fi loot did you actually win? Write in. We're curious how you did. Now, back to the grind. That is that lo-fi global news. To Ethiopia we go, where the government had attacked the Tigray region again, and the civil war was escalating. Again, tragically. But now, Tigrayan forces, they are marching out of Tigray in the north of Ethiopia, and they're headed toward the capital of the country. Lo-Fi Nation, I can't stress this enough to you, to how serious this is. For so many different reasons, really. But let me give you the words of the president of Ethiopia right now. Things are so serious in the country, and with the Tigrayan army marching toward the capital, still some 250 miles away, mind you, okay? So that's a pretty far distance away. But the president has called on the citizens of the capital to take up arms and to be ready to defend the capital and their own neighborhoods. Meaning, the president has basically said they cannot stop what is coming if it reaches the capital. The capital has 5 million people in it. Now, I'm not going to ask you a question. Instead, I'm going to tell you to think about it like this. Think about a civil war, an urban warfare, in a city of 5 million people. Now, think about that, and you tell me all the things that are about to take place in Ethiopia. People eyes wide open on Ethiopia this week. There's going to be a lot going on, for sure. Now, let's tone it down a little bit, because that's some deep stuff right there. That's that real kind of talk. But that's what we do. We deal in the real of what's going on in the world. But we also never shy away from an opportunity to illustrate that the world is not all doom and gloom out there. Not at all. There's lots of amazing things going on, even right now. For instance, there's a huge United Nations conference going on right now about climate change and saving the environment. Great, lots of arguing, of course. But I don't mention this to bring that up. I mention it because in the middle of that huge conference of the whole world, Ecuador, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Panama have all just announced an amazingly beautiful example of what countries can do when they collaborate to save the sea turtles. And lots of other sea creatures too, but I do have a soft spot for sea turtles, so I give them a little shout out. But you see, the 4 countries are now expanding and combining the protected waters to make an all-new and interconnected natural reserve for all the sea creatures along their 4 coastlines. And people, this is huge because sea turtles don't know where international waters are or where Costa Rican protected waters begin and Colombian waters end. No, they're sea creatures. It's their seas. They go wherever they want. So by these 4 countries combining their natural sea reserves into one, they're increasing the number of migration patterns and sea creatures that the reserves are actually protecting. I love it. A big shout out to Ecuador, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Panama. We love our sea turtles too. Well done, people. Well done. And a last piece of news to send you on your way for the day. A very brief but important message of hope. In Mexico City, the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, well, the parade came back this year. And that, my friends, is good news for so many reasons. Congrats, Mexico City. I hope you had a good one. And that's a brief snapshot of what's going on in the world today. Interested in writing into the show? Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, myself on LinkedIn. Email us, let your voice be heard. Always remember that Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. Peace and well-being to all my human beings out there. Much love and always the best. Pickering, signing off.